Melissa just brought up a good point I kind of want to talk a little bit more about, because there's probably people interested in doing this, is rent to own. So Melissa, a lot of people ask, how do you put that transaction together?
So a rent-to-own transaction, what I often see is a property that's on the market. So someone has an agent involved actively listing and marketing that property, and a prospective buyer will come through who has an interest in renting the property for a certain designated period, usually 3, 6, 9 or 12 months, so that they have the opportunity to rehabilitate their credit and then purchase the property at the end of that rental period. So that generally is how it looks. I will tell you that the logistics are completely different based on the circumstances of the transaction and the parties.
Okay.
For example, there are times where you will see a portion of the monthly rent being allocated towards the purchase price as a deposit.
Yes.
So that's one way that you can actually build your deposit funds. There's other occasions where that doesn't happen. It's just strict rent that's paid for the 9-month or 12-month period or whatever the case may be, and the deposit is treated completely separate. So those are the types of logistical details that have to be worked out for the individual parties, which oftentimes there's attorneys closely involved as well as agents.
So I'm sure some of our listeners are asking this question because when I first learned about this, I asked this as well, is now that, let's just say if your rent's $1,500 per month, okay, and if you want to put a $3,600 deposit down on the house, they're charging you an extra $300 on top of that rent per month, you know, to add up over a course of a year. What happens to that excess money if for some reason the renter / buyer, if that person cannot procure that property?
Such a great question, and actually one that I just handled. In the particular situation of my last client, we made that non-refundable.
Yes.
So that $300 per month that's going to be allocated towards the purchase price is non-refundable, not as a security deposit, but just basically as damages for breach of contract if the buyer's unable to complete the transaction moving forward. So that's how that was handled. However, it can be drafted in any way that the parties see fit. So
Sure.
It could be a refundable deposit because it's more in line with the sales agreement price.
So there's risk in anything you do. However, this is a really solid option if you're out there and if your credit is less than healthy right now. I got to tell you, my credit a couple of years ago was around 550, okay? And I'm not embarrassed at all to share this info. I'm a human. I messed up tons of times in my life. I'll mess up several times going forward. But I was able to get in touch with this company, and I'm not going to give them free ad space on here. And they were able to, because they charged me a pretty decent fee. I think it was like $200 a month. Long story short, they got my credit score up to about 740.
Wow, that's fantastic improvement.
Absolutely. I was able to buy my first home, and it was absolutely a wonderful feeling. My credit's been great ever since then. And, you know, you live and you learn. So we have companies that can help you out with this. If you need that company, call me. 401-359-2338. I'll put you in touch with Melissa Delana as well, who can explain all of this to you from the legal aspect. You will absolutely want an attorney working these contracts for you. You don't always want to use a standard purchase and sales agreement for rent to own. Would you agree with that, Melissa?
Absolutely. You need a lease agreement to complement the sales agreement. So there are definitely more draftsmanship involved.
Totally. And you know what? If you're a seller doing for a rent to own, you can also maintain a higher price for your house, so you can anticipate the market. Okay, call it 5%, 6%, or whatever it is. So you're not leaving any money on the table. We do anticipate the market to grow, you know, reasonably 3 to 5% next year from today.
And that's another provision that can be built into the type of agreement is
Market rate.
What is going to be the appraised value? Is that going to determine the sales price, or are we just making this a fixed amount and hoping or waiting to see what the appraised value is in a year? Absolutely.
So there's tons of questions. Guys, give us a call, text or a call. I'll put you in touch with all the proper people here. 401-359-2338. If you're watching, we have videos of this online. If you're watching this video, you can also click the link at the bottom of your screen.